when you're a licensed prisoner, you usually you have like a a local town visit with an officer strapped to you. You know, you go out for an hour and come back, and then the next one will be 2 hours, and it sort of builds up like that. It's pretty tedious, but so generally you can't just go off to London all day. So I got rejected. My application got rejected, but then thankfully the lady who ran Learn Together, she knew the deputy governor really well, got it sorted. Next thing you know, I'm going to London. So my first day out of prison in 14 and a half years was heading to London to Fishmongers Hall on London Bridge. And Fishmongers Hall is this beautiful building.
Right next to London Bridge as well,
Right
isn't
next to London Bridge, yeah, beautiful. They go inside, it's like
Sunny day.
Sunny day, sun was shining. First out of prison, I mean, this beautiful place, and you know the ornaments, and there's pictures of the Queen in there, and it's just like big curtains. It's just a really, really beautiful place to be, you know, such a contrast to what I'd been used to. And obviously, yeah, I felt great. I thought, wow, I'm here in the middle of London. There's all these people who I've got to know as well. Jack Merritt was there. He came up, gave me a hug, and all the other people did. So we go upstairs, and the event starts to unfold, and you know there's different speakers talking and stuff like that. And after about 2 hours, there's a little break, and then I'm due to go to the toilet. I always go to the toilet during breaks, but at this time, Ruth Armstrong, who was at Cambridge University, she ran Learn Together, said, Steve, there's a panel coming up next, and she went, can you ask the panel this question, which has been sent in by a prisoner? I said, yeah, okay, no problem. So I went through that. So I never got a chance to go to the toilet. Goes back into the event, into the banqueting hall. Everyone starts to sit down, and suddenly we heard screams. And someone made a joke, you know, maybe thought, oh, is it kids messing around or something, or, you know. But these screams continued.
They weren't screams that you didn't know.
Clearly it wasn't just, there was something wrong. So, you know, when you hear girls scream, I think, you know, most people naturally think, well, I want to go and investigate, you know. But I couldn't move because I was with the escort, the officer who'd escorted me there, and he was sat next to me.
Say, don't move.
Yeah, you know, and it could have been a domestic as well. You know, I might go down getting brawled. So my first day out, I don't want to mess up here. So he said to me, because these screams continued, he went, stay there, okay? He went to go and investigate. So he goes downstairs, and these screams continued. And you know, when you're itching to go, and then suddenly, Amy Ludlow, who was the other co-founder of Learn Together, she comes running into the banqueting hall, shuts the door behind her. She's pressing the phone. She went, everybody stay there. It's Usman. And I thought, well,
and Usman Khan was part of your.
Yeah.
He'd been in that meeting in the day, and that event, should I say?
So Usman was Usman Khan.
Was he a Cambridge student? Was he?
No. So he'd been convicted of terrorist offences 8 years earlier, and he'd been sentenced initially to 8 year. I think it was an 8 year, possibly IPP. I'm not sure, but it was a indeterminate sentence. And he served all of that in Cat Airs, I think primarily in HMP Whitemoor. And Learn Together were also working in Whitemoor. So that's where he got to know them and built up a friendship with them.
Oh.
Yeah. He was a bit of a poster boy for them, actually. So when it came to, so he'd actually got out. So he appealed his sentence, and it was exchanged from an indeterminate 8 year sentence for a 16-year determinate sentence, which meant he didn't have to go to parole. Once he served his 8 years, half of it, or nearabouts, he could leave. But he'd served his whole sentence in Cat Airs, in HMP Whitemoor. So he left prison from a Cat Air prison straight into the community. And
doesn't that, you know, normally just...
Well, it must be difficult, yeah. No reacclimatising to each category.
To fall back into society.
Straight out. Anyway, he'd been out a year. But because he knew Learn Together, and they was using him as a bit of a poster boy, he'd been doing interviews for them, talking really well, promoting Learn Together.
He'd been waiting for his chance.
Waiting for his moment. So he must have received an invite like me and thought, well, this is my chance. So he gets invited to Fishmongers Hall and is there. And actually, even on the day when there's been questions asked to the audience, he's responding to some of the questions, yeah.
Like, he's interacting and stuff like that.
He's involved, yeah. Which, I mean, he'd already reached his objective of being there. So why he felt he needs to do that is beyond me, but it certainly gave the impression that this guy was, I thought, actually had changed his ways and was now on a good path by the way he was responding to the questions. So that's how he ended up there. But I didn't know him. I'd never met him before. I responded to one of the questions, so he would have known, he would have heard me speak, and would have known he would have picked up that I was a prisoner too. I have no doubt about that. So as I go, so anyway, these screams are going, she comes rushing in, she had its husband. So I thought, well, obviously whoever this husband is responsible for these screams. So I thought, fuck it. I just jumped up. I made my way to the door, and I started to make my way down these stairs. There's two big winding stairways that come down. And as I come round, I can see immediately at the bottom of the stairs, there's a young girl on the floor, and her throat's been cut. And she's got blood coming out of her neck, and the officer who was with me, he's got his hand on her neck trying to stem the flow of blood. And she was clearly lifeless, yeah? I look a bit further, and there's another girl on the floor in a fetal position. She's got blood underneath her. Seemed completely out of it. And then I look towards me, and I see husband can.
What presents you when you see him? What's he got on him?
So he had two 8-inch razor sharp, well, I didn't know it was razor sharp, but two 8-inch knives strapped to his hand. So them have been strapped with duct tape, two in each hand. He's got this long black coat on, and he's just there. He wasn't seemed to be doing anything at the time, just looking straight at me. And I just thought, well, okay, there's people upstairs, there's people carrying in corners. You can see, like, you know, everyone's fucking scarpering and trying to get out the way.
Petrified,
yeah. And I've just thought to myself, right, you're getting it, you know, I'm going to stop you at all costs. And that was my aim, just to stop this man from doing any more damage, yeah? So I looked to the floor, and there was like a piece of wood on the floor, what somebody must have used earlier in the fight, so I picked it up. I just launched it at his head, and it missed, and it hit something behind him. And then obviously he knows I'm coming towards him. So he's opened up his jacket and showed me a bomb, like an improvised bomb strapped to his waist. Very well put together. It had duct tape on it, cans, all sorts, wires. It looked real, yeah.
Did that not like make you step back, Steve?
No,
or?
I just thought, for some reason, I just thought it's fake. I don't know what a fake bomb looks like. I mean, the police must have thought it was real because I shot him dead. But for some reason, I told myself it was fake. And maybe I did that psychologically to try and sort of prepare myself for what I was about to do. So anyway, so I thought, okay, fair enough. But then I'm unarmed. And then I looked beside of me, and there's a guy stood there with a Norwell tusk holding it out. So I took the Norwell tusk, and I go towards him. And he's now, like, he sees me coming, he's got his knife, and he's trying to... He's trying to thing, and I'm moving backwards on my feet. And you imagine, I've been in prison now, like, you know, for what?
The vow of never using violence, Steve, but circumstances...
Yeah. So, yeah, I didn't even think about that. But so, while I was in prison, look, I haven't mentioned this so far, but I've been training like mad, you know, non-stop. I've been boxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, done the rugby all those years, weights all those years, judo even, Muay Thai, you know, we used to get in a cell and set it all up, and I'd been at it for years. So I kept myself really physically strong. So although I was 42, I was at the peak of my mental and physical fitness, not taking no drugs, nothing, yeah? So I was the best shape I could ever be mentally, I think. So for me, I think knowing my physical capabilities obviously was a help, yeah? But this guy was still, you know, these knives were clearly sharp, yeah? 8-inch strapped to his arm, so you couldn't pull them off.
But taped to his hands?
Yeah, there was tape with duct tape, yeah. So he'd gone downstairs.
This is what I was going to say. So from the event, when the break's gone into, you know, he's gone into the toilet.
I can come to that.
Go on.
I can come to that in a minute. So anyway, we're now going backwards and forwards towards each other, and I'm trying to wait for my moment to finish. So I end up stabbing him in his chest here. I was going to go for his neck, and for some reason I sort of hesitated a little bit, and that's maybe because of my status and just checking the reality of this thing, yeah. But it hit something hard, and it seemed to bounce off him quite easily. And I thought, is this guy on something, or has he got something underneath him? Anyway, backwards and forwards again. I ended up whacking him again with a Norwell tusk. Ends up snapping over him, yeah, snapping across his shoulder. And then suddenly, as I snapped it over him, it just flew out my hand. So I'm unarmed again. He's come running towards me. I've backed off. And I remember I'm on the stairs, and I'm saying to myself, what's the matter? We get back in there, yeah? So I'm just egging myself on. I've gone back in, and then there's another person's now at the other side. I think they threw something towards him. So I picked up a chair, and these chairs are really heavy. I went back there the other week, actually, for the first time. And they said to me, the chair you threw, look at the chair. And I picked it up, big solid oak chair. Like, you couldn't even pick it up.
It's the adrenaline, adrenaline.
Yeah, I just picked it up, smashed it over him, yeah? So in the end, he's like, you know, he's then come towards me, and there's like these doors, and he's tried to push the door shut, and he's gone, I'm waiting for the police. So I thought, obviously, he's feeling the heat now. And then I've said to everyone else, don't let him rest, yeah, don't let him rest. So I've gone back in, and then he's gone to the exit, which takes you out to London Bridge, and he's gone outside, and someone shut the door behind him and locked it. Oh no, it locks anyway automatically.
He's on London Bridge
So
now.
there's a sense of relief, yeah, but he's outside, yeah.
Public.
Yeah, they don't know nothing about it. So
Middle of the afternoon
I
as
said
well.
to the guy, I said, move. I said, there's people out there, yeah? So I've opened the door, I've gone after him. And I can see some women walking towards him, oblivious. I've gone, get back, it's a terrorist, get back. This is crazy, yeah? And so they see him and they run off and he's now come back towards me. And I go blank at this point. I don't even know what happened. Well, the only reason I know what happened was because I went to the public inquiry and they told me from the cameras what happened. So
The CCTV outside.
yeah. So I've then gone back in. The door's locked. I've gone back and picked up the other half of the tusk, yeah. And then apparently he's just come. I've just got back in the door and he's just got to the door and the door's shut. So then I've come back out. He's gone back downstairs, and then I've come back after him again. He's turned to face me. We've had another altercation outside the thingy. Yeah. Apparently I've whacked him, but he's managed to grab the Norwell tusk and he's threw it back at me. I don't remember any of this because it must have been overwhelming. You know, like first day out of prison. You know, I'm on. You might have packed out as well outside. Packed out.
London Bridge is busy anyway.
The traffic's to a standstill, right? You know, so the people must have been going, "What's going on here?" Right? But the only time my memory comes back is I feel like a cold sensation on my arm, and it's somebody come out. It's John Crilly, yeah.
With the stick extinguisher.
It's come out, it's spraying like that. It's fucking hit my arm, and that's where my memory comes back. And then another guy comes out, who is Darren Frost, my friend. I didn't know him at the time, but he comes out with another Norwell tusk, and then suddenly husband runs off, and they chase him. So I go with him, and I just thought, why are we chasing this guy? Just take him to the ground. And I remember like the light was shining, the sun was quite low. And it just seemed so surreal, this situation. It was like a dream, yeah? Everything was in slow motion. When I say slow, everything was slow. And I have to wonder if your adrenaline does that to allow you to sort of deal with everything and to sort of make sure you get to the right position. Because everything I did was like fine-tuned, you know. I've gone to this guy, now he's swinging his knives. I've come in, somehow grabbed him, took him to the ground, right?
Well, he's got these 8-inch knives
exactly.
still strapped to
I
him.
still don't know how I did it. Like, I just remember like reaching.
You've just got your opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I've been training and doing wrestling for years and stuff like that, so I obviously had that physical ability, but I can't work out how he's got his knife and I've grabbed him and took him down. This is weird. I know there was some spray going towards him and Darren had hit him with a finger from the other side, but still to come in and take him down.
His knives are still, you know, did the other lads help, you know, to take the knives off him and stuff?
So when I took him down, as I said to whoever grab the knife, so Darren come in, grabbed his knives, we held him, and he actually got back up to his feet somehow at some point. So I gave him a couple of uppercuts, brought him back down again, and then within a few minutes later, the police pulled up, armed police, they jumped out, everybody get back, armed police, fucking move, and then in the end, everyone started to peel away, because I still had hold him. I thought, I'm going to hold this. He's got his hands, and then the other guy wouldn't move. I patted him on the back, he wouldn't move, so I thought, you know what, I'm in the way now. As soon as everyone moved out of the way, I backed off, and by the time I'd looked round, he'd been shot.
There was 2 shots let off at first, wasn't there?
2 shots, and then I turned around and seen him try to get up. Even
after he'd been shot?
Yeah, and he was shot again and tasered in the head. So that's why I thought, was this guy on something, or was it just pure adrenaline? Turns out he wasn't on anything. Anyways, but the other shot dropped him to the ground. And that was that, you know. So I'm now heading back into Fishmongers Hall, and I remember thinking, where's Jack? Where's Jack gone? So I'm saying to people, where's Jack? You seen Jack? And people can't even speak, you know, like they just can't even.
What's just gone on?
Can't even verbalise. And I was saying to one guy, I said, where is he? He couldn't speak. I said, is he all right? He couldn't say anything. I thought, oh, maybe he got caught up, you know. So the other guy with the Norwell tusk who was alongside me, and the one who handed me, turns out to be a guy called Darren Frost who worked for the Ministry of Justice. And we spoke afterwards, and I said to him, look, you know, I said, funny enough, you know, that wasn't just my first day out of prison. That was also my first act of violence in 14 and a half years. So I'd been out of trouble, not had one fight.
In jail?
Yeah, all what I'd seen, all what I'd been through until that point. So the next day I get taken back to the prison, and then, you know, I get told.
You get the news that.
I get news that actually.
To Saskia and
Saskia died. One of them, thankfully, had survived.
But Jack
had also been killed. Yeah. So what had happened is during that break, and I said to you earlier, I usually go to the toilet, but I got pulled aside. As he's gone downstairs, so in the break, husband's gone into the toilet. He's prepared himself. strapped his thing is. As he's coming out, Jack's walking in.
And he stabbed Jack.
Yeah, he's just done him there, and then he had no chance. So
And
that's
you were going to the toilet until that lady handed you the what's name from there.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, I normally go to the toilet, so that could have been. I always think, you know, what I would have reacted, would have been a bit quicker, would have been a bit more wise to that shit, you know. Who knows? You just don't know. I mean, when you're in a very tight space like that, someone's got two razor sharp knives.
You've got no.
Come on.
You're up against it, aren't you?
You're up against it, yeah. So sadly, Jack was killed, and I was back in prison, still had 2.5 years left to serve.
Thanks for watching this clip. If you like what you see, click the link below to watch the full episode and give us a little subscribe as well.